New developments in the case of Bryan Kohberger. The presiding judge is making changes to the gag order. You will remember it barred almost everyone from talking about the case before. Well, under this new gag order issued now, prosecution and defense attorneys can now speak on some matters related to the case, but they must still follow strict guidelines to preserve Kohberger's right to a fair trial. Now, Kohberger is accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho college students last year. He is facing first-degree murder and burglary charges in connection with their stabbing deaths. And the changes come as prosecutors announced that Kohberger's DNA is a statistical match with the DNA that was found on the knife sheath that was left at the crime scene. Joining us now to get more perspective, Jesse Weber, NewsNation legal contributor. Jesse, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about that new DNA evidence indicating Kohberger is a match for the DNA that was found on that sheath at the murder scene. The defense claiming that they are unaware of this. Does that strike you as strange? Because aren't they entitled to all of this information?
Look, the defense is doing and saying what we expected them to do, right? They are facing an uphill battle with this monumental development. And you couple that with the surveillance footage, you couple that with the cell phone evidence. And they are making a good point because they're saying that the prosecution is keeping information away from them. And at the end of the day, that's a legal argument. It'll be up to the judge to determine whether or not the prosecution has to turn over more materials to the defense. But we have to be clear about what they're doing here. They are actually previewing what their defense is going to be. Well, how exactly did law enforcement get this material? Did they do anything improper? Did they really have probable cause? Because the best case scenario for them would be to make sure this evidence doesn't come into trial if law enforcement did something improper. And 2, if it does come in, they're saying, well, how accurate is it? We have a right to understand the science behind this and understand how it was obtained. And we'll call our own experts and ask our own questions about how reliable genetic genealogy is, because that's the key right now to the prosecution's case.
Okay, I appreciate that insight. And you know, we're hearing that prosecutors are consulting the victims' families on the death penalty. And so far, Xana's mother favors life in prison. Meanwhile, Kaylee and Madison's family members, they are seeking the death penalty. First of all, how common is it for the prosecution to get the family's input? And what does happen when the families are not in agreement?
It's incredibly common. And look, really what the prosecutors have to do is say they respect what the family wants, but it's really in the pursuit of justice and in their own public interest. And sometimes there's political reasons. They decide whether to go forward with the death penalty or not. Now, in this kind of case, there are a number of different considerations. And you also have to imagine the death penalty phase, if he's ultimately convicted, that's almost like a separate trial. So there's more expense, there's more time. You also have to consider the family members, what that's going to do for them to see this aspect and they having to testify during that. But if you had a death penalty case, this feels like the one in Idaho. I mean, the death penalty is on the books for this kind of case. It's a horrific quadruple homicide. It's incredibly high profile, young victims, savage nature of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if prosecutors decide to move forward with the ultimate punishment.
I do want to talk quickly about this modified gag order now. What kind of information do you expect we will now be able to hear going forward?
Not much. Basically, the attorneys in the case, like the prosecutors, the defense attorneys, the attorneys that are representing victims, they can talk a little bit about the case, but kind of bare bones, like the scheduling of the trial or what are the nature of the charges. They are allowed to make statements to correct the record if there's some sort of really bad misinformation coming out. But that's it. They can't talk about anything that's going to materially prejudice the case. They can't talk about the evidence. They can't talk about evidence that's not going to be in the case. They can't talk about a plea deal. So I don't really think at this point we're going to learn anything major from the attorneys, but it is for our news organizations a little bit of a win because they can speak a bit more than they were previously not allowed to.
Okay, I appreciate that. We're looking at this new court filing from Kohberger's attorney saying that there is no connection between his client and the 4 students who were murdered. How can he say that when he supposedly followed all 3 of the female victims on Instagram?
It's a little bit of a play on words. Do they mean to say that he had no connection? He was a complete stranger? Because that may very well be the case. But to say he had no connection at this point, I wonder if that's a bit disingenuous, particularly since it's my understanding we don't know the complete evidence from the prosecution. For example, they found blood on different items in Kohberger's apartment or house. And so we don't know who that tested positive for.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.